2023 State of the City Address. My name is Mindy McGee, and I am proud to serve as Deputy Mayor and Chief of Staff for Mayor Courtney. We'll start by inviting Mason James, President of the Mayor's Eagles from Lydia Middleton Elementary School, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
So Mason and the Mayor's Eagles. Ready?
Thank you all so much. Thank you, Mason. One of the things that Mayor Courtney is very skilled at is forging relationships and professional partnerships throughout our community and the state. I'd like to take a moment and recognize some of those partners that are here this evening, along with our elected officials. From Governor Holcomb's office, Tyler Warman, Director of Intergovernmental Affairs. I'm practiced saying that word, that's a tough one. Clerk Treasurer Katie Rampey. And then our council members here this evening are Jim Bartley, Carla Krebs, Lucy Datillo, Josh Schaefer. All three of our commissioners are here this. Oh, I'm so sorry, Patrick. Devon. All three of our commissioners are here: Robert Little, Ron Lee, and Dave Bramer. And our county surveyor, Mike Pittman. I do apologize if I've missed anyone. I hate doing this because it's very likely to miss someone, and I don't want to do that. One of the things that Mayor Courtney always promises is strategic, data-driven decisions and building an experienced and collaborative team of professionals in his administration. Tonight you'll see what is possible with the right partners in place and what has been accomplished in just 3 years. With public safety being part of the mayor's 3 pillars of success, one of our most important team leaders is Chief of Police. Chief John Wallace has served our community for his entire professional career, serving as police officer, past Chief of Police, Sheriff, and is now back home as our city chief. His dedication to service to our citizens is beyond compare, and I am proud to work alongside John and the officers he leads. Tonight, it's my pleasure to introduce America's Chief, John Wallace.
That's about the kindest thing anybody said about me in 38 years, so thank you very much. It was very nice. We appreciate that. Well, good evening. 3.5 years ago, the citizens of Madison elected a man with a stellar business and financial background. Bob Courtney brought those skills to City Hall and has put Madison on a forward path like we've never seen before. The progress we have witnessed for the last 3+ years has turned heads and opened eyes of many investors into those looking for a new place to call home. One of our own detectives, Detective Sean W. Scudder, who is with us here tonight along with some of his fellow officers. So far they're behaving, but it's early. Saved it the best. You can't make a turn anywhere in Madison without seeing new construction or remodeling project, and how true that is. Under Mayor Courtney's leadership, our incredible heritage is being preserved while at the same time growing Madison for future generations. It is now my honor and privilege to introduce to you our mayor and my friend, Mr. Bob G. Courtney. Wow, thank you all.
is true when we talk about John Wallace being America's chief. Because public safety, community safety, as we'll talk about here tonight, is really at the foundation of everything that makes everything possible. I'll warn you a little bit, and that is, we have a lot to say. We went through a lot of process here of trying to refine this, so I didn't say too much or too little, but it's really hard, particularly when there's so much happening in our fantastic community. The remarks I'm about to make tonight are a little bit longer than President Washington's first address to the country. But they're a lot shorter than President Biden's last State of the Union address, I promise you. But there is so much to say, and it is really hard to skip some things. But I hope what you have discovered is there is a tremendous amount going on, and it's because of all the hard work of everybody in this room. And those not here tonight, but they're present because they're making a tremendous investment of time and money in Madison. Well, welcome everyone, and good evening, council, and all of our special guests here tonight. Thank you for joining us for our annual State of the Address. This is my third State of the Address. We didn't do one in 2020 for obvious reasons, but I think we've gotten a little bit better at it each year. And I'll also point out that on each of your chairs is a dashboard. We call it kind of our dashboard of just what 2022 brought to the community. There's some facts there. We love to dig into the numbers, and we think the numbers tell a story, but it also drives our strategies. I also want to thank the Fairfield team for hosting us again tonight, for Gary on sound, and the volunteers and team at City Hall for making tonight possible. Specifically Hannah Fagan and Keely White for the city's communication and outreach efforts, whether it's press releases or a website redesign, monthly newsletters, or social media campaign. There's a tremendous energy in everything that we do. I want to thank our students for being here tonight. Weren't they great? Let's give them a round of applause. I want to thank them for leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And if you take one message away from tonight's address, I hope it is this. There's no more important task at hand than investing in their futures. Do you agree?
Absolutely.
When I first ran for mayor, I promised you a bold approach to improving our community. With leadership and vision, we created a strategy to bring more investment to our community, and we developed a plan that brought new solutions to old problems. Pick an issue such as blight, unsafe buildings, bad sidewalks, poor roads, speeding across the community, outdated infrastructure, lack of housing, outdated policies, historic flooding in our community, economic development, and many, many others. Hopefully what you take away is this, that we have attacked each and every one of those head on. We've done so while generating record investment, maintaining a low property tax rate, generating millions of dollars of new grants for our community, and keeping a balanced budget every year. Let me make this statement up front, and that is that Madison has never been stronger. Our financial strength is our currency toward the future. Our unemployment rate is at 2.8%, which is lower than the state and national averages. Our countywide GDP is up 10% in the past 3 years. A record number of new businesses have called Madison home, and a record level of new investment is happening from Madison's strength, and it's never been better. Revenues to invest in our redevelopment commission are up 42% over 2019. The city has zero general obligation debt. Our revenue bond obligations are supported by very strong debt service coverage ratios, and the city ended 2022 with over $19 million in cash and investments, which is up 16% over 2019's $16.6 million. We've recovered from COVID. We've recovered from the flash flooding in 2021. And we did that while maintaining a balanced budget and getting stronger because of our planning for the future. There are two people here tonight that I particularly want to thank who were instrumental in guiding the city's financial and budgetary matters and its investment in new, more efficient and effective technology platforms, and who are responsible for millions of dollars of transportation-related grants to our community and accounting and personnel-related initiatives. Please join me in recognizing Deputy Mayor Minnie McGee and Clerk Treasurer Katie Ramey. For the past 3.5 years, we have remained steadfast in our key principles: community safety, economic opportunity, and quality of life initiatives. Did you ever imagine that in the last 3.5 years, you would see over $250 million invested in our community by the city, our industries, our small businesses, and in tourism? Did you think that in such a short time frame, and despite the many challenges that we have faced, that we would witness the greatest period of investment and improvement in Madison's quality of life? And there's another $400 million of new investment already planning and on its way. Our community-based investment model is working and it's paying huge dividends. And I'll talk more about this in a few minutes. But let's pause for a second and talk about community safety first, the first pillar of our platform. The foundation of any community is safety. Being safe and feeling safe for those who live here, work here, go to school here, or the more than 365,000 visitors here a year is extremely important. Our ability to respond to emergencies is paramount. With our professionally trained law enforcement officers and firefighters, they are the shining light on somebody's darkest day. And I'm so grateful for the leadership, Police Chief John Wallace and Fire Chief Kenny Washer. Let's please recognize them with a round of applause. Community safety is a very comprehensive topic. It involves literally every facet of the city, from police to fire, streets to parks to utilities, and to planning. We've continued to grow our investment in our police department, and on the heels of a complete review of our SOPs that ushered in new policies regarding use of force, duty to intervene, pursuits, and evidence control, for example, MPD last year answered 13,000 calls, and the Madison Fire Department responded to 387 emergencies. Our crime suppression team has reduced drug-related calls by 40%. And our newly formed traffic team is working literally around the clock to manage semi-truck traffic on Main Street and speeding cars across our neighborhood. Last year, in 2022, they conducted 4,530 traffic stops. And let's not forget Operation Predator Net, which has already taken over 24 child predators off the street. The Madison Police Department's drug interdiction efforts that just recently stopped another major drug dealing operation from poisoning our people. I mentioned the 387 emergencies that the fire department responded to, but did I mention the 2,477 training hours that this all-volunteer fire department accumulated last year? I talk often about the fact that when they are not responding to emergencies, they're training for that response. Because of their efforts, we have one of the best PPC ratings, which is a fire rating, fire response rating, in the state. So please give our first responders, we have several of them here tonight, a round of applause. Community safety is impacted by our investment in roads and streets as well. In 2022, we invested over $1.7 million revitalizing the Oak Hill neighborhood, which was its largest investment in city history. We did this by changing the way sidewalk repairs, for example, were done and created Madison's first sidewalk asset management plan, which included a rating system. In 2021, we completed that plan, which analyzed the condition of over 40 miles of sidewalks and over 800 curb cuts throughout the city. We looked at age, condition, accessibility. We adapted a rating system so we could make a difference where it was needed most. With this data, we are now able to focus on the 9 miles of fair to poor sidewalks and over 40 curb ramps that need immediate attention. Investing in something as simple as a concrete grinder has eliminated trip hazards on dozens of sidewalk sections across our city. Sidewalks connect us all, and now we have a smarter way to improve that connection. Let's take a minute to watch one of our 2022 Madison on the Move productions.
City of Madison is a really historic community, but unfortunately we have a lot of historic sidewalks that are in poor condition. And what we wanted to do was be very strategic about making an investment in our sidewalks because we know that that is so important to a community. And when we did this asset management plan for sidewalks, we were able to expand the scope of it beyond just downtown and really spread it across the entire community. We married that with an asset management plan that we already had for streets. And what we were looking for was the data to guide an investment, which is where are our worst streets that also have the worst sidewalks. And that literally brought us up to the Oak Hill subdivision and revealed the fact that that was a community that had not had any significant investment for probably a couple of decades and was long overdue.
I thought, well, I wonder if we overlay that information, the worst sidewalks and the worst roads, meaning there's a place where we have the worst of both. In this case, it ended up being the Oak Hill neighborhood. Very nice neighborhood, planned out very well, but has been absent of infrastructure improvements in a very long time, sort of neglected up there. So far, it's been a positive response. I think they appreciate that we recognized that that neighborhood was in pretty poor shape. I hope they're happy in the end. I think their property values are gonna see a boost from it.
Cross drain down here on Oak Hill Drive, if that's not replaced, number one, the pipe is deteriorating. That pipe was installed in roughly 1962, and the other pipe was totally full of roots. One of the biggest things I've heard from the neighbors is that they are going to love walking down the sidewalks unobstructed and being able to walk down the sidewalk from wherever they live in Oak Hill and go over to the park and things of that nature. There are a lot of young people in here. A lot of the moms are pushing strollers, and they just think that's fabulous. We are putting the ADA ramps in at every corner, which is required. They don't have to jump down a big jump or anything with their stroller. They can just push right across the street, which will have crosswalks and stop bars on the street. And that is the greatest thing that we are doing, is giving them total access. They can walk up and down the sidewalks and go any place they want to in the entire neighborhood.
You actually see more activity now in the neighborhood. People are walking their animals now. They're walking with their children. People that couldn't get out of their houses before are getting out of their houses now. You could just enjoy your neighbors more. And it's really good to see that.
Quality of life is the number one thing. We firmly believe that for other people to invest in the city of Madison, first we need to lead with the investment. And that is making our community the best it can be in public safety, economic opportunity, driving prosperity, creating attraction of outside capital, and then also focusing on parks and outdoor recreation for quality of life. Clean, safe, and beautiful is a lot more than just a 3-word mission statement. It really is what drives all of our dozens of key initiatives. And it is focusing on the people first. And when we're investing in people, the response is just a more fantastic community overall.
Oak Hill, it's a great example of where, the data really pulled us up there. That was a community that needed, repairs for drainage, repairs for sidewalks, more and better ADA accessibility, new roads. And then it all led us around to Oak Hill Park, and now the park. So the infrastructure and the neighborhood is all done, and we're now completing the park investment, which is, again, part of that quality of life initiative that drives everything that we do. I want to mention two more community safety initiatives that are part of our critical infrastructure and important to our investment strategy in the city, and that's water utility and flood mitigation. In 2022, we embarked on a $13 million clean water improvement project that will address issues regarding the treatment, storage, and distribution of our water. Madison provides nearly 800 million gallons of water a year to nearly 70% of the city and county residents. And this project will prepare us for growth and create future capacity. Our utility consists of a very intricate network of wells, pumps, treatment plants, meters, boosters, storage tanks, and lines. The distribution system covers over 6,000 acres and over 600,000 linear feet of lines, most of which was installed in the 1950s. We'll make every effort to protect our water supply and build capacity for the future. I'd like to recognize Brian Jackson, our utility superintendent, who manages our water and sewer departments. Brian, I think I saw you here earlier. Where are you at? Wave to us. There, Brian, there. And I guarantee I know a lot more about water now than I thought I would ever know or need to know. One of the worst days of my time in office was a flash flood that occurred in the early morning hours of June 18th, 2021, ravaged by torrential rains that flooded the Crooked Creek watershed and the nearby North Walnut Street neighborhood where I grew up. Our brave officers, firemen, first responders performed middle-of-the-night water rescue, saving 35 people from their homes, and thankfully there was no loss of life. This neighborhood has seen repeated flooding over the past 150 years, but I believe we can significantly reduce the risk of flooding in that area with the right plan and the right investment. This investment won't be cheap, but it will save lives. We have already appropriated over $1 million towards solving this century-old problem. And working through a public-private partnership at Sunrise Crossing, we've constructed a 3 million gallon detention basin that will significantly abate the effect of stormwater in that watershed from commercial property on the hilltop. And with the co-investment from our Jefferson County Commissioners, we are already a year into a watershed study with the Army Corps of Engineers that will bring more solutions and better tactics. Thank you, Commissioners Bramer, Lee, and Little, who are here tonight, for partnering with us on this and many more important community initiatives. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Now on to economic opportunity and planning, which is an area that this administration drives. There's over $600 million of new investment happening in our community. Isn't that remarkable? City and Madison Redevelopment Commission funds to reinvest in our community are growing, and there are dozens of new businesses investing in Madison. Let me pause for a second to let that sink in, because they are investing in you. They're investing in you. Private capital will always search for that which delivers the best return on investment. Our leading from the front approach and investing our capital first provides the leveraging we knew and we needed for impactful outcomes. This is why we say Madison is on the move. Last year ushered in so much economic development activity from the prior 2 years of planning. Every pocket of our city is experiencing investment. From Sunrise Crossing to our beautiful riverfront, from Oak Hill Drive to Main Street, from Clifty Drive to Walnut Street, and from the roads that bring people here to the sidewalks that connect us all. Together, we are elevating Madison to new heights. With a $55 million investment, the shops at Sunrise Crossing will bring new retail, such as Hobby Lobby, which makes my wife very happy, TJ Maxx, Five Below, and Kohl's. And after 25 years of no new housing built on Madison's hilltop, the residences at Sunrise Crossing will bring 183 much-needed apartments to the community. The investment happening across our community is expected to create over 500 new good-paying jobs. And strategy for housing those that will fill those jobs is so critical. This area, along with improvements on Michigan Road, Clifty Drive, will bring a destination feel to the hilltop, improve traffic safety, and a boulevard for decorative lighting, bike paths, public art, and special holiday lighting. Last year, we created a new placemaking-based roadmap for economic development with 2 plans: workforce development and Destination Madison. These plans are being funded with a new program from Governor Holcomb's office called READY. These plans will produce almost $250 million of economic impact to our community over just a matter of a few years, making Madison the regional destination that we already knew it was. With local, state, and private capital, this public-private partnership initiative leverages our funds and generates a high return on investment. We've already broken ground on many of these projects with the groundbreakings for Bicentennial Park improvements, the Ohio Theater facade restoration, and Hanover-Madison Connector Trail projects, all happening this year too. Our very own Kevin Kellums represents Jefferson County on the Southern Indiana Regional Development Authority and is making sure we are successful in this endeavor. And in a few months, as you drive down Clifty Drive, you'll see a new sidewalk project start to take shape. Several new restaurant choices. We'll go for a walk downtown, and you'll see the Chandler Boutique Hotel, an improved cultural arts corridor, a new public art exhibit, and the News from Overlook, and so much more. Transportation is extremely important to any community, but especially to Madison, with its large manufacturing and tourism base. You can get here by air, rail, road, or water. With this $1.5 billion and growing annual GDP, our county ranks 43rd in the state and 52nd in the state by population. Madison Municipal Airport contributes over $10 million a year to our local economy. And the Madison Port Authority, which operates our railroad, will be investing over $20 million over the next several years in a new transloading facility on Madison's hilltop and track improvement projects in North Vernon, which is already attracting 3 new rail-dependent businesses to our community. So far, I hope you believe me when I say Madison has it all. It really does. The theme here is all about the power of investment. With it, we thrive. Without it, we don't. Economic development is only limited by our planning and our resources. Making proper investments in many other citywide initiatives, such as public safety, blight elimination, tourism, utilities, infrastructure, historic preservation, expanding our riverfront district, alcohol licensing, for example, all of those are economic development. I'll touch on a few of those things under a quality of life initiative comments. I'd like to take this opportunity to recognize Tony Steinhardt and Nicole Schell, our directors of economic development and building and planning, for leading us in this critical investment and planning strategy. Where are you guys at? I think Tony's over there. Cole's over there. It really is all about the plan and executing a plan. Another vital part of economic opportunity is tourism. And Madison is definitely the destination in Indiana for great experiences. If everybody has seen the 2023 guide, it's fantastic. Sarah, great job on this. Last year, we made a major investment in a data service called Placer AI, which is providing real-time analytics about our visitor profile. It has been put in practice by our flagship tourism partners, such as the Visit Madison Inc., Madison Main Street, Jefferson County Board of Tourism, Madison Area Arts Alliance, Madison Chamber of Commerce, and it's enabling us to more precisely measure the attendance, trends, and financial impact from our investments in that sector of our city. These analytics allow us to not only measure economic impact, but we can determine how to best manage the public safety, the community safety elements of having 30,000 people in our community over a weekend. And with the efforts of our small businesses, tourism partners, event organizers, and volunteers, our innkeepers, tax collections are up 26% since 2019. And our spending from the 365,000 plus investors is in excess of $50 million annually, supporting almost 600 tourism-related jobs in our community. Fantastic results. Let's recognize those who bring out the magic of Madison best. BMI's President Lucy DiTillo, Executive Director Andrew Forrester, Madison Main Street Executive Director Austin Sims, Madison Area Arts Alliance Director Kim Nyberg, President of JCBT Trevor Crafton, our Chamber Director Richard Ice. If you are a volunteer for any of our festival events through the year, will you please stand and be recognized, because you guys are what's making Madison happen. Please stand and be recognized. Don't be shy. Do not be shy. David Corbett's over there being shy. When you combine investments in our community and economic opportunity, what you get is a high quality of life. Our quality of life in Madison is next to none. Our community-based investment model is designed to produce improvements and investments that we all enjoy. Economists will tell you that investments in placemaking produce high returns, increase population, reduce poverty, improves public health, and so much more. And Cincinnati Magazine described Madison as the face of historic preservation. You've heard us talk a lot about our three-word mission statement. Probably sound like a broken record when I talk about clean, safe, and beautiful. There are many layers to making this dream come true. It takes a true partnership with the community to make this happen. And folks, it's working. Our three-pronged approach includes incentives, updating policies, and making transformational investments. I'm a firm believer that strong neighborhoods where the people come first are the key to a vibrant community. Our neighborhood revitalization efforts in downtown and on the hilltop are resulting in lower crime, higher assessed property values, fewer unsafe structures, and a great place to raise your family. Our public-private partnership for historic preservation has resulted in over $3.5 million of PACE-related investments last year alone, and over $8 million in the last 3 years. We're creating a record 5-to-1 leveraging ratio. The leveraging ratio is the money that we put in versus the total investment. And the key here is part of the capital stack. Putting in our dollars, leading with our investment, attracting outside capital, and making a tremendous difference. Coupled with this program, for the first time in over 25 years, we updated our historic district design guidelines and our historic district survey to better guide our preservation tactics. With these targeted revitalization efforts, we are beautifying Madison one block at a time. Revitalization also requires a robust effort to address nuisances and unsafe structures. In our first year of investing in code enforcement, in 2022, we managed 448 nuisance cases and are dealing with a universe of approximately 100 unsafe structures. Our goal is that owners of every unsafe structure partner with the city to develop a plan that safely abates the issue, and that too is working. I believe our building inspector, Landon Ralston, and code enforcement officer, Dewey O'Neill, are here tonight. Where are you guys at? Please raise your hand, and thank you guys for your effort. It is tremendously making a difference. Often the first impression is the lasting impression. We focus very intently on a clean, safe, and beautiful Madison. Madison has a multi-million-dollar inventory of over 70 miles of streets to maintain. Whether it's severe weather or preparing for a festival to greet thousands of visitors, our street department plays a vital role. And to keep our town clean, last year we processed almost 9,500 tons of solid waste, 562 tons of recyclables, and 201 tons of leaves. That's the equivalent of stacking 100 Boeing 757s on top of each other every year. Isn't that amazing? And our street department dedicated over 1,400 labor hours to preparing Madison for its dozens of annual events and hand fabricated over 300 light decorations to enhance Madison's beauty. Like my wife Tammy says, everything is better with flowers, lights, and music. Please join me in thanking our street superintendent, Tony Sorrells, and his team, many of whom are here tonight, for keeping Madison clean, safe, and beautiful. Thank you guys so much. In the time we have left this evening, I'd like to share with you about our investment in city parks and public arts, as these greatly also impact our quality of life. A new 5-year master parks plan was adopted by our terrific Parks Board, which will direct our investment over the next several years. Beauty and sustainability is our goal, which has already resulted in record profits at our newly named Riverview Campground on the city's riverfront, reductions in operating deficits at Sunrise Golf Course by 60%, a 24% increase in our sports program participation rates, the completion of a $2.5 million restoration of the Crystal Beach Pool House, and multiple other beautification efforts that bring out the best in our town. Neighborhood parks play an important role in our community. In 2022, we broke ground, as you saw in the video earlier, on Oak Hill Park renovations with the help of several private donors such as Grody Manufacturing, Arvin Sango, U.S. Premier, the Community Foundation of Madison and Jefferson County, along with the support of the City of Madison's Redevelopment Commission. We're able to make an investment in a new shelter house, basketball courts, playground, dog park, and other park amenities. Thank you so much to Bill Barnes and our donors for making this happen, Bill. Thank you so much. And just recently, we announced the construction of the new Crystal Beach Aquatic Park, a modern facility that will be fully accessible for all ages and all abilities, and with amenities that will make it a regional recreational destination and a vital part of our community's health and wellness. I'll never forget the evening a few weeks ago in the newly named Frank Baldwin Hunter Hall with my grandson Hudson sitting on my lap, watching the announcement from Dora Annam that the Bethany Legacy Foundation will close the gap on our project costs with a $2 million donation that will also include programs to make sure access to this great facility is affordable for all Jefferson County residents. It's also, another major city-county initiative we're very proud of, and one that will build strong futures for years to come. Our groundbreaking for this $7.5 million investment in Madison will happen very soon. Dora couldn't be here tonight, but I believe Angie is here representing the Bethany Legacy Foundation. Where's Angie? Thank you to Bethany and the commissioners for this generational investment in our community. I promise you, the new Crystal Beach Aquatic Park will be worth the wait. Gaines Park, located in the heart of our historical Black community, brings a rich history to that neighborhood in our city. The site of the first commissioned color school in the state has not seen any new investment in over 30 years. 2 weeks ago, we held a long-awaited groundbreaking that will create new gathering spaces with an expanded shelter house, a performance stage, new basketball courts, landscaping, and playground equipment. We heard stories living in a segregated Madison by Sue Livers and Chuck Cosby. And we also heard about what this park means to the community. It was a treat also to speak to Elsie Perry Payne by phone, who couldn't be there. She was very influential in bringing these plans to fruition. For what once was a symbol of separation will now be a place of togetherness. To Sue and all of the volunteers working together for Gaines Park, thank you. Would also like to recognize our Director of Parks, Matt Woolard, for guiding us through these fantastic outcomes that I just described, and for modernizing our platform that's eliminated thousands of manual processing of consumer transactions. Matt, where are you at here tonight? Oh, there he is. Did you know that Madison is one of the largest designated cultural arts districts in the state? Art comes in many forms and is growing in importance to our community and our quality of life in Madison. Art allows you to see life from different perspectives. It's a tool for cultural exchange, education, and expression. It can be served, it can be heard, it can be seen, it can be felt, and it can even be tasted. In late 2021, the city formed a Public Arts Commission, and their work earnestly began in 2022 to develop a public arts master plan that incorporates art into public spaces in a creative and thoughtful way. Guidelines are being drafted, and public art is already a catalyst for public improvements across the community, such as with our Mulberry Street Arts Corridor, the Mural Plaza, our Gateway, and our new Sunrise Crossing development. And later this month, a new traveling art exhibit by award-winning sculptor Dale Rogers called Flight will be unveiled at Bicentennial Park for all to enjoy. Thousands of visitors will see this exhibit, and they'll return to Madison over and over again, and some will move here because of our exceptional quality of life. With a focus on the individual experience, this is just another example of Madison on the move. I'd like to thank Kim Nyberg for letting me convince her to lead this initiative that will have a long-lasting impact on Madison's future. Kim, thank you. Because so much is being done in such a short period, I often tell people we are making up for lost time. It's amazing how quickly a quarter century can pass by. And there's an opportunity cost if you're not investing and innovating and planning along the way. An important part of leading the city also involves creating good policy at the local level and representing Madison regionally and statewide. Policymaking has a big impact on our city. So we must stay involved at all levels, whether it's new policy or modernizing an old policy for a changing society. Sometimes we'll dig into an issue, we'll find out that it's been 30, 40, 50, 60, 75 years before the city modernized its policy to address an issue. I'm very proud of the fact that in my 3 years as mayor, working collaboratively with City Council, 100% of the 96 resolutions and 74 ordinances have passed council with strong support. Council, thank you so much for your support. As a member of AIM's Legislative Committee, which is a Accelerating Indiana Municipalities organization, I'm committed to working on behalf of Madison for good statewide legislative policy. I was also proud to be a part of our region's Ready statewide grant presentation committee that produced $50 million for local economic development, with Madison and Jefferson County receiving the largest per capita portion of that $50 million. And in that $50 million for our 5-county region, it's going to generate, as I talked about earlier, about leveraging and capital stacking, over $1 billion of new investment in these 5 counties. Madison is part of the fastest growing region in the state. And as a member of Governor Holcomb's Public Health Commission, our recommendations to improve public health outcomes is now making its way through the state legislature. This $200 million investment will help Jefferson County and all other local health departments across the state bring improved services to our communities. A healthy community is so vital and is critical to our workforce development plans. And in July, when I assumed the role of president of the Indiana Conference of Mayors, I pledged to always put good policy over politics. The importance of my remarks so far isn't just about describing past achievements, but it's also to establish its impact on the future. While 2022 was a banner year by literally all measurements, the best is yet to come. In 2023, we will have new groundbreakings and new ribbon cuttings on major initiatives like the Crystal Beach Aquatic Park, the shops and the residences at Sunrise Crossing, our neighborhood grocery store project on 2nd Street, a new housing subdivision in partnership with Habitat for Humanity, and 3 more Destination Madison initiatives are already on their way, just to name a few. We will also bring new solutions to the community to address substance use disorders through a treatment program at the new Jefferson County Justice Center. As a member of our County Justice Reinvestment Advisory Council, I will chair a special subcommittee to bring services to offenders in jail for drug-related crime, and the goal there is to reunite them with their families, teach them life skills, and reduce recidivism. Partnering with other peer recovery services in our community is going to be so critical to being successful in that regard. To further our commitment of bringing business to Madison's businesses, we will use our new platform called OpenGov to create Madison Marketplace that further supports our Buy Madison mission. In 2022 alone, the city of Madison purchased almost $14 million of goods and services from local businesses, with over $11 million of that right here in the city of Madison. Madison Marketplace will integrate the city's procurement practices with our economic development platform and increase the purchase of local goods and services to $20 million a year or more. You can make that happen, right, Tony? Got a thumbs up back there. Just this week, with unanimous support from the city's redevelopment commission, we took the first step toward creating a new downtown riverfront TIF allocation district. Madison's original TIF district was created in 1994 and will expire in 2035. Jeff will tell you, Jeff Matheny, who's here, he'll tell you that's not very far away. Jeff is one of our city arborists, and I appreciate all the work that he does on our tree board. So Jeff, thank you for being here tonight. And Jeff, don't go getting sappy on me. 2022, the city's TIF district generated over $3 million of revenue, which will reinvest into the community and leverage those dollars with other sources for maximum impact. The city of Madison has invested millions of dollars in its streets and sidewalks infrastructure that have been deteriorated over the years, not only by heavy truck traffic and travel, but by road cuts and excavations that are expensive to repair. To protect this investment, we will develop and adopt new contractor permitting procedures and best practices so that we can more effectively manage who, when, and where this work is occurring. This is a policy that has not been refreshed since 1966. If Tammy Acosta was here, is she here? She would say, pick up sticks. It's very entertaining being in City Hall. It's like Parks and Rec. It's like, you know, the West Wing. It's like The Office, all combined in one show. When considering the fact that we've invested almost $6 million just in the last few years and over $25 million in upcoming investments in road, street, and sidewalk improvements, this has become a top priority for us. I've talked tonight about light illumination, nuisance abatement, but there's much more we can do that is tactical and collaborative. Our additional approaches will continue our preservation first policies, but will implement enhancements to keep our community beautiful, work with property owners to make enhancements, and hold others accountable when they have disinvested in their properties. We have over $675 million of property value in our city, much of it in downtown Madison and our historic district. A people-first priority produces results. Other initiatives will include the development of a Walnut Street comprehensive plan, a study to address Madison's housing needs into the future, and pursuit of a municipal affiliate designation with Indiana landmarks in recognition of our historic preservation efforts, planning for the future infrastructure and transportation needs. And we'll be developing a Crooked Creek flood mitigation plan with data from the Army Corps of Engineers that we've been working on since 2021. With over $17 million of federal grants already awarded, we will continue developing plans for our Main Street initiative. At last year's AIM Ideas Summit, the City of Madison was recognized for the second straight year in a row, this time for placemaking and curating unique experiences in downtown Madison, and specifically for re-envisioning our Madison's Main Street, which over the next 5 years will undergo a much-needed upgrade as an extension to the interim repairs we've already invested in. Those intermediate repairs calm traffic, improve pedestrian safety, and most important of all, enhanced pedestrian and visitor experience. Other focus for 2023 will include bringing new efficiencies to our municipal operations, such as garbage collection, stormwater quality and drainage management, beginning the process to modernize a very outdated zoning policy. The current one dates back to 1997. And doing what we can to make Madison a smart city by deploying energy-saving strategies like EV chargers, community LED lighting, more broadband access, and working with our schools, healthcare, business, and county government partners that make a difference in the lives of all of our residents. We'll continue to break down silos and eliminate the barriers that's been holding us back. The implementation of this vision would not be possible without the hundreds of volunteers serving on boards and committees across the city. We have over 24 boards and committees in the city. We also have representatives on county boards. The county has representatives on our boards. If you serve on any of these boards, please stand to be recognized. Thank you. Come on, I want to stand up there. Thank you all so much. In support from Representative Fry, Governor Holcomb, Lieutenant Governor Suzanne Crouch, and Dr. Chris Box, and their teams have been amazing over the course of the last several years. And I hope this is crystal clear. Employees of the city of Madison are our biggest asset and some of the most dedicated people that I'm proud to serve with. I would ask all of our city employees here tonight to please stand so we can thank you. City employees, no meeting is over. In closing, it's probably what you're waiting on. Not too long ago, I was at a scout meeting, and I was answering a bunch of questions from the scouts, and there was a little boy right in front. He had an urgent question that he had to ask. So I called on him, I said, "What is your question?" And his response was, "When will this be over?" I know how you feel, I know how you feel, but there's so much to say because there's so many people in this room and across our community who have put a lot of effort into bringing us here tonight. Also want to thank my family, my wife Tammy, my friends for their love and support. It takes two Tammys to keep me between the guardrails. Tammy Courtney, my wife here. My assistant Tammy Acosta is back there. Both of whom are really instrumental to our success. I would like to share with you a quote from one of my all-time favorite athletes and Olympic distance runner, Steve Prefontaine. And this is really, what I wake up and I think about all day and I see because it adorns my office. And it's Steve's motto. He passed away at a young age in a car crash. But to give anything less than your best is a sacrifice of the gift. We have abundant gifts and very gifted people here in Madison. That is the real key to our success. So let's keep Madison on the move. I'm so proud of our town. We are a small town with a historic future. Thank you for your patience and listening tonight. Thank you for all that you do. God bless Madison. And thank you very much. Good night.